Hey there, River here. And we wanted to clarify how we got to a place where we refrain from sharing war stories a little more. And we can thank some of our ancestors for that. One of them was one of my adoptive grandpas who was put in a position at a young age to fight in a world war and clean up a massive, a site of destruction in Hawaii. And he refrained, when I got to know him, he refrained from even mentioning the word war. He was such a wordsmith and a creative, brilliant, a writer and thoughtful and so many things, on top of a father of my adoptive father. And I was inspired by that bravery, that he endured that, being forced to be a part of the fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn emergency state. And when he returned, he chose to do life a different way, to the point of how he uses his words. And pardon me, that's spelling, right? How we use our words. So imperative that when we can, that we use them. And also how come speaking in tongues is so effective, a perfect, let me rephrase perfect, a form of prayer that our God understands for the times we don't know what to say. And we can just babble and God will understand what we're trying to say, because there's sometimes we can't even formulate words. We're so grief-struck by loss. So to honor those times, but also the times when we can, when we do have that, we have summoned the adoption spirit magic, and we can use our words to help create a positive future for ourselves, to spell our future, spelling. And so he was one inspiration. And my grandpa, my father of my adoptive mother, was also an inspiration after he returned from he was put in a position where he held munitions and was forced to apply them and in the air. And when he returned from that, both of the grandfathers lost their families and adopted new families, so to speak, but shattered their old families, my adoptive parents, even though they didn't mean to, but they tried to live a very peaceful way of life. And they inspired me to think a different way than to share these war stories in order to fit in, and to realize how that is part of the place where sacrifice has turned into guilt trip and becomes a bully club for our youth under 25, under 35. I appreciate giving youth more space because of how much they have lost before the age of 18. It takes a decade, 12 years to recover sometimes, and I'm feeling them right now. Thank you so much. So these are some of the reasons how we came to this position of refraining from sharing war stories and refraining from engaging in those events that come up annually, all those places where the sacrifice has turned into guilt trip, and to honor those grandfathers, and also the grandfather from my birth mother, who at a very young age was, pardon me, encouraged to enter the military as a way to belong and find pride and success, and unfortunately also in a nation with a recent past of barring Romani births. And so he was in this catch-22 snafu, sort of like one flew over the cuckoo's nest, and it's part of how come I came to be relinquished. He disowned my birth mother for becoming pregnant with half Romani me in that Cold War era, and how I came to be abandoned on a Cold War border. And he didn't mean it. He thought he was doing what was for the best, correct, and just operating from a place of trying to survive and thrive, and being sucked into that fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fawn by nations and communities at a very young age. And so to honor them and my nieces and nephews who have been put in similar positions, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, removing those conversations from the dinner table and from the holiday gatherings, and offering the youth something different to look forward to and enjoy, instead of more of that emergency state, cycling, fight, flight, freeze, fuck, fun, as if it's for the best. And so thank you so much for steering clear of danger, and for helping us shuffle states of emergency into adoption spirit magic, and for playing your cards heartily. We are grateful. Ciao for now. We love you all.